Imagine you've just lit a fire, preparing to enjoy a steaming pot of eel and bamboo shoots, when suddenly, a strange sound echoes behind you. In that instant, you don't know what awaits. Just a tiny mouse, or a massive predator ready to end your life. 900,000 years ago, humans lived in a world where every single sound could signal death. One wrong step, one rustle of leaves, and you could switch from hunter to prey in a heartbeat. So why is it that we, fragile creatures with no claws, no speed, no natural weapons, manage to survive and rise as rulers of this planet? Today's story will reveal that shocking survival secret. Let's embark with us on a journey to discover humanity's primal survival, witnessing the struggles, strength, and evolution that are shaping us into who we are today. A new day dawns. Homo habilis steps out of their shelter, takes a deep breath of the early morning air, and continues their quest for food. Familiar footsteps lead Homo habilis to the nearby stream as usual, to drink water first to awaken and gain strength. Bending down by the stream's edge, Homo habilis sees many shimmering fish in the clear water and large eels coiling within rock crevices. Homo habilis holds their breath, quickly reaches out, and with a swift, decisive tug, catches a fat, firm eel. Homo habilis makes a fire and sets up a cooking hearth. Two stones strike each other, sparking. The embers ignite the kindling. The eel is neatly prepared on a flat stone slab. Conveniently, there's a bamboo thicket nearby. Homo habilis goes and breaks off a few young bamboo shoots, peeling their tender skins. Placing an earthenware pot on the fire, Homo habilis puts the eel, bamboo shoots, and a little stream water in, covering it with a large leaf. Hot steam rises, the rich aroma of eel mingling with the fragrant young bamboo shoots. The pot lid pops from the steam. Homo habilis opens the lid, stirs gently, puts it back to boil evenly, then removes it from the fire. Homo habilis eats heartily, each soft piece of eel intertwined with crispy bamboo, warming their stomach and providing energy for the whole morning. While eating, Homo habilis suddenly hears a strange noise echoing from the grass bank behind them. Homo habilis stands up, follows the sound, and finds a rather large cave. Using a stick to probe the cave entrance, in just a moment, a mouse runs out. Homo habilis lunges, quickly catching the mouse with both hands. Returning to the hearth, Homo habilis uses a sharp stone to butcher the mouse, cleaning it neatly. A pointed bamboo stick is sharpened, skewering the mouse, which is then roasted by the glowing embers. Fat drips and crackles. The scent of meat rises, fragrant and enticing. Suddenly, two Homo habilis women pass by. They feel the warmth of the fire and smell the meat, so they approach and sit down to join. Homo habilis makes room and turns the skewer to ensure even cooking. The three people eat the mouse meat together, laughing and chatting happily. Simple meat, but it warms their stomachs and hearts. As the fire dies down and the bones are picked clean, the three lean against each other by the embers to sleep, warding off the cold. A new day begins. Homo habilis continues their journey in search of food. Bidding farewell to the two women, Homo habilis follows the damp soil edge and finds a patch of wild yams. Using a sharp branch as a lever, Homo habilis digs up a large yam, still green with earth. Homo habilis brings it back to roast for breakfast. The yam is placed into the hot coals and buried. When the skin is charred, it's peeled off to reveal a soft, cooked yam, each piece delicious and sweet. After eating, Homo habilis suddenly gets an idea. They take the two remaining yams, tie them with rattan vines, and hang them low before a game trail, creating a trap. The fragrant yam lures with its smell, the loop of the vine ready for a tug. Before long, a wild boar smells it, cautiously approaches. The scent of yam entices it, and it pokes its snout through the loop. Finally, the trap works effectively. The vine tightens, the stakes spring up, and the wild boar is firmly caught. Homo habilis approaches, wrestling the boar down, locking it in place so it cannot struggle. And that is the result of Homo habilis's increasingly evolving ingenuity. The fire is lit again. Delicious pieces of meat from the boar are roasted by Homo habilis, fragrant and savory, fat sizzling on the coals, the rich smell spreading far. Simultaneously, another pot of meat is cooked over the fire until tender and saved for later. Homo habilis eats heartily, sharing the roasted and stewed portions. The smoked portion is stored for later, their stomachs full, their strength renewed. While clearing the hearth, a strange sound suddenly comes from nearby. Instinctive alertness rises. Homo habilis picks up a stick with a stone tied to its end, their familiar weapon, and cautiously approaches the sound, stepping carefully around a bush. It turns out to be a pregnant woman, heavy-bodied, her eyes tired but kind. Homo habilis lowers the stick and smiles, offering her meat to eat, both some roasted pieces and some stewed meat from the pot for easier swallowing. They sit by the fire, laughing and talking happily together. Sparks fly, cooking smoke mingles with the aroma of meat, the sound of full stomachs like unspoken thanks. The long day slowly closes, from eel and bamboo shoots in an earthenware pot, to a mouse on a bamboo skewer, to sweet roasted yams, to the clever trap, to a warm pork meal and sharing with the pregnant mother. A complete cycle of survival where warm fire and human kindness sustain them through another night in the forest. A new day dawns. Homo habilis steps out of their shelter. The early air is cool and fresh, dew still clinging to the leaves. Homo habilis takes a deep breath and continues their journey in search of food. Their feet follow the familiar grassy path, eyes scanning the forest edge. Along the way, Homo habilis discovers a patch of young bamboo shoots. Without hesitation, Homo habilis uses the stone-tipped stick as a lever, prying at the base of the bamboo shoots, then gently twists to break them off at the root. One by one, the bamboo clumps are pulled out, brushed clean of earth, and neatly arranged on a large leaf, then brought back to a dry spot. Homo habilis piles kindling into a small heap to block the wind, then strikes stones to make fire. Sparks catch on the dry tinder, thin smoke rises, and the fire gradually flares up. The earthenware pot is placed on a stone tripod. Homo habilis pours stream water in, adds the bamboo shoots, stripped of their old outer layers, to the pot. Steam rises thickly, and the gentle scent of young bamboo spreads in the wind. A delicious pot of bamboo shoot soup will be ready for breakfast. Each piece of bamboo is crispy, fragrant, warming their stomach after the early morning walk. The warm soup soothes their throat and provides energy for the entire day ahead. Just after finishing eating, Homo habilis hears a faint rustling of leaves. Looking towards the edge of a bush, a wild chicken is busily foraging nearby. Homo habilis immediately holds their breath, estimating its usual path. Thus, the trap-making begins. Homo habilis crafts a trap from bamboo, splitting bamboo into thin, smooth slivers, bending one into a noose, and making a trigger mechanism. A hard piece of bamboo serves as the spring, a thin bamboo cord as the tightening loop, and the bait is a few pieces of bamboo shoot placed right in the chicken's usual path. The trap is set and hidden behind a large tree, waiting. Homo habilis lightly scatters dry leaves to cover their tracks, retreats behind the large tree, and holds their breath, listening. The wind shifts, leaves rustle, and the wild chicken leisurely returns, pecking at the ground. In just a split second, the chicken's foot catches in the loop, the trap springs, and the chicken is caught. The bamboo loop tightens, the trigger snaps upright, and the chicken is held fast. Homo habilis rushes out and quickly seizes it. Returning to the hearth, Homo habilis plucks and cleans the chicken, then skewers it onto a sharpened bamboo branch. The skewered chicken is placed over the fire, turned steadily. Fat drips and crackles, the skin puffs golden, and the scent of roasted meat spreads throughout the forest. Homo habilis slowly turns the skewer to cook the meat thoroughly without burning it. When the meat is done, Homo habilis eats heartily, the skin crispy, the meat fragrant. The lingering taste of the young bamboo shoots earlier seems to complete the meal. Their stomach warm, their eyes peaceful. Their strength returns after a morning of foraging, trapping, and cooking. The sun gradually sets behind the canopy of leaves. The wind becomes cooler. The gentle fire is kept alive through the night. Night falls, eyes close, waiting for a new day to come, and Homo habilis is ready for a new journey. If this story gave you goosebumps about how our ancestors fought to survive, don't let it end here. Hit that like button, subscribe to Hidden Horrors, and turn on the bell so you never miss the next chapter of humanity's darkest and most epic survival stories. And tell me in the comments, if you were Homo habilis, what would be your first survival move?